The Cleveland Browns general manager, John Dorsey, will not draft Sam Darnold. They'll draft Josh Allen. And who will benefit? The New York Giants, who have been relevant forever, who have 4 Super Bowl titles. They will absolutely take Sam Darnold. That's nothing against the Warriors, but they feasted on the T-Wolves. And nothing against the Bulls and Pippen, but they feasted on Seattle. Dynasties are created through hard work and mistakes of poorly run franchises. By the way, there's a real psychology here. Cleveland passed on Carson Wentz, and the Browns have very low sports self-esteem. Carson Wentz was a no-name kid, huge arm, great at the combine, big, tall, athletic. Carson Wentz is Josh Allen, except way better. And Cleveland passed on him and was mocked, and people lost jobs, and they were ridiculed. And Cleveland is now saying, we're not going to let it happen again. What quarterback in this draft shares the most characteristics with Carson Wentz, who they passed on? Josh Allen. But I will remind you, let's put Josh Allen and Sam Darnold's numbers next to each other. Yeah, Sam played with better people, but played a significantly tougher schedule. Completion percentage, touchdown interception ratio, passer rating, wins, loss, yards per attempt. It's not even close. It is not even close. This is your classic low sport self-esteem franchise passing on Carson Wentz and trying to make amends with Josh Allen. And it is absolutely remarkable in the history of sports. When you look at these dynasties, the Lakers with Kobe, the Warriors with Steph, how many teams, 23, passed on Aaron Rodgers? A lot of bad franchises that still don't have a quarterback. The decision here is a really easy one. And according to Peter King, John Dorsey's about to hand the New York Giants more Super Bowls. It's the way it generally works. Well-run teams, relevant franchises, feast on poorly run franchises and irrelevant. In the course of the weekend, you know what everybody does, who had the best class and who had the worst class, and that team got a B-, and that team got a C+, and that team... I'm not going to do that. I'm going to tell you a story about my late mother, who at one point in her life was a nurse. Came over from England in her early teens by herself on a boat, came over, eventually got a job as a nurse. And my mom said something very early in my life that I never forget. She said, if you have your health, you have everything. Everything else is fine. But she, as a nurse for 2 years, saw people who grew up in chronic pain. And she said, honey, if you grow up and at any point in your life, you are in pain from the minute you wake to the minute you go to sleep, she goes, it will suffocate everything else in your life. And I tell that story because everybody's grading the draft classes. And you want to know who won the draft? The teams that got franchise quarterbacks. Arizona got a kid as good as Josh Rosen at number 10. The New York Jets got the best quarterback, in my opinion, at number 3. They won the draft. Let me tell you the value of a quarterback. Jimmy Garoppolo is worth 5 points. Over the course of a season, 16 games, that would be 80 points. Over the course of a 12-year career, could play longer, that's 960 points. J.J. Watt, Odell Beckham, Julio Jones, Gronk aren't worth a single point in any game. Jimmy Garoppolo is worth 5 a game. The 49ers were 1-10. Then he showed up. They were 5-0. They averaged 17 a game without him and 29 with him. And I know what you're saying. Colin, you said he was worth 5 points. It appears he's worth 12. No, 12 is what a great franchise quarterback is worth when he connects with a great offensive coordinator. Jared Goff was a disaster. He's a Pro Bowl level quarterback with Sean McVay. Jimmy Garoppolo with Kyle Shanahan is worth somewhere between 10 and 12 points a game. If you want to know who won the draft, who got a quarterback? You could take every linebacker in the history of this draft from USC, Ohio State, and Alabama combined. They're not worth 50 points over their careers. Josh Rosen and Sam Darnold will change the franchise. 200 people in those organizations that would have been fired will now retain employment. They'll sell tens of millions of dollars in merchandise, game day revenue, not to mention free agent wide receivers and offensive linemen. Players will choose the Jets in Arizona and Buffalo if Josh Allen can play, and Baltimore if Lamar Jackson's as great as everybody tells me. Now, once you get the quarterback right, nothing else matters. It's like my mom said, if you've got your health, you'll figure out the rest in life. No matter how much you inherit, no matter how handsome, no matter how smart, if you wake up in chronic pain, it suffocates all your other gifts. I don't know who won the draft. I mean, there were certain players that I really, really like. I think the Colts really helped their offensive line. I think the Packers did a great job and really helped their secondary. I think the Chargers' defense was good. It's going to be even better. But I look at the Jets today, and they were the butt of jokes Wednesday. I look at Arizona. I was rolling my eyes Wednesday. But I look at those teams today, and my grade is A for awesome.